What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter, and a lot of people been asking me to speak on this topic. They done heard this name a lot because it's affiliated with a neighborhood. They hear a lot about TB from TyquanWorld. They hear about Poppy and Richie Jerk from an area called TyquanWorld, and a lot of people want to know exactly who is Tyquan and where did all that begin. Remember, I told you in Chicago, it's like a drill culture, and it's kind of sinister, very weird, you know, where if someone died to commemorate that person for losing their life, they kind of rename the neighborhood after that person. So not to put any salt on anyone, but let's just say, for instance, somebody named Reggie died. They're going to name that neighborhood Reggie World and shit like that. So today we're going to talk about Tyquan. I believe his real name was Tyquan Tyler. He was a young dude too. That's another thing that threw me off. And I really only heard about him because through the rumors on the street, his death is what drove KI crazy. So we're gonna go Tyquan today. Now, when I did my research on him, because I really didn't have a lot to go off of when it comes to this young man, because, like, once again, I did notice if he had any rap videos. Hell, I don't really see any videos on the internet of this guy. So I had to dig deep and talk to a lot of people. Remember, I done interviewed a lot of people that's close to TyquanWorld, even a few TyquanWorld rappers and shit like that. So I feel like I do got a small post on this. I remember I had a chance to talk to TB from TyquanWorld.
I wanted to know, is it possible I can ask you exactly who Tyquan was? Because I hear that name a lot. Was that a person?
Yeah, that's a person.
Oh.
I kind of got sources a little bit everywhere in the city of Chicago. But I'm going to kind of give you some background on Tyquan, because there's things about his case that kind of concerned me and threw me off. First, I found out he was only 13 years old. That was one of the things that alarmed me, because I said, damn, 13 years old. I kind of thought this guy was a little bit older because of the dissing and shit that I hear about him. I was kind of shocked when I found out he was just a little baby, if you ask me. Another thing that I found out about this guy is his mom's moved him away. So he ended up moving to the suburbs, okay? But he used to come to the city a lot because I guess that's where his people's, where his friends and shit like that is at. I noticed another thing is that a lot of people shout him out like KI, which is affiliated with the GDs, okay? And KI is like a legend for being a killer, okay? And they said that his death drove her crazy. He was a good friend of hers. That's one thing I noticed. Then another thing I noticed is it's a neighborhood called TyquanWorld where a lot of bad shit has happened. It has a reputation for being shooters, killers in that neighborhood, and a lot of people has died from that neighborhood. So that's another thing that I noticed when it comes to this young man, because I'm like, damn, he only 13. What the fuck? But then I noticed he was affiliated and with a lot of killers and shooters and dealers and shit like that. So I mean, we can't take that away. Now, I'm not saying that the young man was the best kid in the world, but I am saying that, you know, I noticed that he was affiliated with things that kind of made me feel like it could be dangerous for him. You get what I'm saying? And then another thing that I noticed is that he was going back to this neighborhood, which was like Jarrow City, basically. It was like STL. You know, that area over there, Eberhard, you know, it was like that area, that's where he used to be at. And I noticed that area is very known for being, you know, a treacherous area and shit like that. That was another thing that alarmed me, is that he was from those areas. Now, I can't blame that young man. You can't blame where the fuck you're from when you're just a little kid. You feel me? But I did notice that he was from some real tough areas and shit like that. The police is claiming, okay, that I guess he went to a party. His mom's even said in a newspaper article that she didn't even want him going back out there, you know. And remember, I done studied the police scanners, police reports, newspaper articles, news clippings, sources, and all kind of shit. So I was told this guy came back to Chicago, I believe, in that area over there, and he went to a party, okay? Now, when he was leaving the party, okay, I'm hearing from a lot of people who told me, because sometimes the police report doesn't always keep it 100. They're saying that somebody came through and sprayed, and Tyquan was hit. Blah, 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 blah. They blicked the whole crowd. Tyquan was walking with a group of people at the after party, right? He just chilling. They just having fun, grooving and shit, right? He lead the after party, kicking it with his homies, probably talking about what the fuck just happened up in there. Somebody come through and blah, 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 blah. Tyquan take, I believe, 2. He get hit twice. I believe he takes 1 to the chest. I seen 2 to the chest, but the medical report said he was shot in the chest. So I'm going to take that as 1 time. He took a shot to the chest. He died hours later, okay? His killer was actually caught. That's another thing that threw me off. His killer was actually caught. I believe his name was Nason. Okay, his name was Nason Flowers. Now, this is the thing that had threw me off with this whole Nason Flowers shit, right? Tyquan was only 13 when he lost his life. The guy who killed him was 23. I said, what the fuck? This like it's a 10-year gap, you know, for a grown-ass man to be locking in on a young person like that to murder him was another thing that threw me off, you know. Maybe you get your little homie to slap him up, but in Chirac, shit get crazy. So, I mean, it's not that far-fetched. You get what I'm saying if you ask me about the shit. He ended up getting arrested. I believe he get charged, and then he finally get convicted, I believe. So, this is the guy that killed him. This is all I hear with the board. The thing is, we know who killed him, but I'm not gonna lie, listening to the drill raps, the drill culture, they said this what drove KI crazy. I was under the, influence, and maybe I was thinking that maybe the ops killed this guy. Maybe the ops murdered this guy. Maybe someone who they was beefing with, like the BDs or something like that. Not to name anyone exclusively, but we know that was their enemies. I was thinking something like that happened to that young man. When I realized who Nason Flowers was, it threw me off. First thing, Nason Flowers is a GD, okay? Which is crazy because Tyquan was affiliated with like this GD set, even if he wasn't in it. But I'm hearing he was affiliated. But okay, you know what I'm saying? That's what threw me off is this guy is affiliated with what's going on over here. So I said that's another thing threw me off. And then the fact that it's a 10-year age gap on the person who killed him, okay? That threw me off too. And then another thing threw me off is this guy was a GD from Jaro City. Okay? Now, we all know Jaro City is linked up with STL, okay? I'm not sure what's going on right now because it's a lot of backdoor shit going on. But we all know these people were linked together and shit like that. So that's another thing that threw me off was that he was from an area and he was repping a crew that was linked to the people who Tyquan was. So I'm going to tell you something, man. I come to the conclusion of this. Now, this is the thing that might throw you off, but this is my conclusion. I could be wrong, okay? I come to the conclusion that, this is a sad story. I'm not saying the young man wasn't a bad guy because I heard stories that the young man might have been bad, but he's just 13. But some 13-year-olds still know how to do this, okay? But let's just say, I just take it, in my opinion, from everything that I've seen. I think this guy was at the... I think he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, in my opinion. Okay? I don't believe those bullets was meant for him. Okay? I do not believe those bullets was meant for him. I believe he was in a crowd. Somebody bust in a crowd. Shit happened. I'm not saying that this guy who killed him is they homie or a part of they homie, but it just threw me off that he was linked to like people who he was with. So I feel like maybe this was a case of wrong place at the wrong time. The guy was way older than him. I don't believe that bullets that dude had sprayed out that gun, in my opinion, okay? I don't believe those bullets were meant for Tyquan, okay? I don't, in my opinion. I believe those bullets were meant for somebody, but they don't got names on them, and he ended up getting hit. I think it was a gang war going on in his neighborhood, and unfortunately, he got caught in the middle of it, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that dude ain't try to do the shit on purpose. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I believe with everything I got on the board and all the information I got to read, I believe the guy was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, that don't take up for what this young man did, because he took a young man off this earth who won't get a chance to see his mother again, see his dad, be a brother, be a sister, be a husband, or anything like that. So, I mean, there's consequences to when you do shit like that. But in my opinion, I think wrong place at the wrong time. I appreciate all the love. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't need no donations. Keep them for yourself. It's hard out here. Keep the donations to yourself. If you want to support me, all you got to do is hit the like button. That's all you got to do is just hit the like button like you said you want to do, because you keep saying you want to support me and keep saying what my cash app is. So if you want to support me like you say you want to support me, you take your hand out like this, you hit the like button, and you help support me. Because when you hit the like button, it make my videos grow and a lot of people be able to see them. I appreciate the love. It's the homie truth. Bleh, bleh, bleh.